Okay, today's spell work problem says to find the slope of each table of values. So remember, before we even start, you want to remember that slope is represented by the lowercase m. So the variable m represents slope. And it is equal to the change in y, remember that triangle, that delta symbol means the change in, over the change in x. So for each table here, to find the slope, we need to find the change in y and the change in x, and then write it as a fraction. So for number 1 here, to find the change in y, you figure out to get from 4 to 3, to get from one entry in the table to the next, what do you do? And here you subtract 1. Then, for the change in x, to get from one entry in the table to the next, how do you get from 2 to 4? What do? You add 2. So then if we take our change in y and change in x and write them as a fraction, we get our slope is equal to -1 over 2. For number 2, again, we're doing the same thing. First, let's find the change in y. Now, this is a little trickier. To get from -76 to -27, what do? Here the answer is you add 49. So you do -76. If you add 49, you'll get to -27. The change in x, to get from -10 to -3, what do? Add 7. So here our slope is 49 over 7, which we can simplify the fraction. 49 and 7 are both divisible by 7, so we can divide them. When we get that, we get, hey, this is equal to 7 over 1. But then you should notice 7 over 1, that is just 7. So here, any of these three answers would be accepted for the slope, because they are all equivalent fractions. And number 3, again, you want to find the change in y and the change in x. So to get from -5.5 to -4, the change in y is you add 1.5. So our change in y, okay, that's really funny. I just got scared. Somebody came in and I didn't know they were standing there. So our change in y is 1.5. Then the change in x, we figure out to get from -1.5 to -1, what are you going to do? You add 0.5. So then here our slope is 1.5 over 0.5.